Greetings, bold, adventurous, pioneering Aries. My name is Eliane Nicole. I'm an astrologer and a tarot card reader, and now I'm going to do the June 2020 tarot and astrology overview for the sign of Aries. I'm going to read tarot cards for the next month cycle, and I'm also going to tell you about the planetary transits taking place in June, so definitely stick around for the second half of the video too. And I recommend that you watch or listen to the videos for your sun, moon, and rising. If you don't know your sun, moon, and rising, you should definitely contact me for a reading. Everyone should have their birth chart done at least once in their life by a real life astrologer. It's different than the computer. But yeah, so as we enter the month of June, Aries, you have the Nine of Swords reversed. So that's about liberation. It looks like you are becoming free of constraints that have been holding you in something. And this could be an actual situation in your life that's had you tied up that you're freeing yourself from, or this can be more conceptually freedom from anxiety, freedom from your thoughts. And you were covered by the Four of Swords reversed. So it looks like you are coming out of a period of quiet meditation and reflection and time alone and retreat, and that, you know, you've turned around some of your ideas about things. And you were crossed by the Eight of Swords, which this card represents what the Kabbalists call your tikkun. So that's your karmic correction in June. And for Aries, this is around, again, this is the suit of air. It's the swords, and it's thoughts, words, ideas. And Aries, your work in the month of June, your karmic correction is around not becoming bound up by your own thoughts and words and ideas. So it looks like in the beginning of the month, Aries is very in the realm, in their head. So the basis of the situation, we see the Magician reversed, and this is a man who is maybe lacking in initiative, or perhaps he's having some self-doubt or insecurity. He's not using all of his resources. He's not using his tools. What's leaving is the Page of Pentacles reversed. This could have to do with a school situation with a child. Nothing bad, just something that happened. Or this could have to do with a new business opportunity. What could come into being is Death reversed. This is a rebirth. This is regeneration. This is transformation. This is around mid-month. What will come into being is strength. This is a great card. Aries, you are very strong. We know this about Aries, don't we? Fears or insecurities. The Three of Rods. So there's a success, achievement, something that you were waiting for, something on the horizon for you, and perhaps you fear the time it's going to take to come, or maybe you fear that it's not coming. Fear is false evidence appearing real. I think it's just a delay, Aries. I think you will have this success. You will have this achievement. You will have this thing that you're waiting for. It's just delayed right now. Everything is in retrograde, Aries. Almost everything, not everything. Others see you as the Five of Pentacles reversed. So this is getting over a financial or spiritual injury. For some Aries, this is probably manifesting as a financial setback. For others, it might be a more spiritual injury that you're healing from at this time. And positive feelings, temperance. Aries, you feel best when you're balanced, when you're moderate, when you're not going to extremes, when you are having a balance between heart and mind. Also, I think this is about waking up early in the morning, waking up with the dawn, with the sunrise. I think this is going to be very good for you in the month of June to keep you in that state of kind of higher consciousness and enlightenment during this time. And then the outcome is justice. By the end of the month, Aries, it looks like things are working out fairly for you. Things are balanced. You have a good balance of heart and mind, of reason and emotion. So that's really great, Aries. And now I'm going to talk a little bit about the transits. So June 2nd, Pallas, who's in retrograde, enters Capricorn. I don't talk that much about the asteroids here normally, but I think I'm going to start because I think that they're really important. If you don't know what the asteroids are, don't worry about it. But if you're interested in it, definitely contact me for a reading and I'll tell you all about your asteroids and what they mean. But in general, you know, I think that Pallas going into retrograding into the 10th house for Aries is going to mean that you are really at this time reviewing, rethinking, reconfiguring, you know, your kind of long-term strategies about probably business and career and attainment. For some of you, it could have things to do with the father as well. So yeah, and June 3rd, Vesta enters Cancer, and for Aries, this is going to be in the house of home. So I think that there's a real devotion to home right now, to the inner sanctuary, to the past, to the ancestors, to the mother. June 5th is the full moon and prenumbral lunar eclipse. And lunar eclipses are very powerful turning points and shifts. For Aries, the full moon and prenumbral lunar eclipse will be happening in the 9th house. It's in Sagittarius. The 9th house is philosophy, education, spirituality, religion, higher truth. I think this will be a very aspirational full moon for Aries in many ways. Aries is trine Sagittarius, so that's a very flowing, harmonious energy. However, lunar eclipses also tend to bring out the shadow. They illuminate the shadow in ourselves or in others. So oftentimes, you know, the full moon has to do with letting go, a culmination in a situation. So this could be happening in the areas of, you know, education, higher truth, religion, spirituality, philosophy, all these 9th house Sagittarian kinds of themes for that prenumbral lunar eclipse. And June 18th, Mercury goes retrograde, and for Aries, the Mercury retrograde will be happening again in the house of home. So this could be miscommunications, this could be you know, small technological difficulties or things like that. With Mercury in Cancer, communication can be emotional. People are very sensitive. People want to talk about their feelings, things like this. So again, for Aries, the 4th house is very active. The 4th house of home is very active in the month of June. What else? June 20th, the sun enters Cancer, and so it is Cancer season. So wish all your Cancer friends a happy birthday. June 21st is the new moon and annular solar eclipse in Cancer. And yeah, the solar eclipse is about new starts, new beginnings. It's happening in Cancer, which again, that's the house of home. For Aries, it's the house of the mother, It's the house of the ancestors. It's the house of the past. It's the house of the inner sanctuary. So this new moon, although it is going to be, it's going to be new starts in all of those areas. And it's a great time to set intentions, to make your altar, to put your crystals and your flowers and all of your things together, and send your prayers to the universe for any intentions you want to set about new beginnings in that area. Also, June 23rd, Neptune goes retrograde. And, the outer moving planets don't affect us so much unless they make aspects to our personal planets. So that's why I always encourage people to contact me, have your birth chart done, and then check in regularly every so often for transit readings. And that's really how you get the most out of astrology and really start to get an understanding of your personal chart and the map that the universe has laid out for you in this lifetime. But yeah, Neptune retrograde in Pisces, this is, I think, an important aspect. I think it's related to what's going on with the world, with the virus. June 25th, Venus goes direct after being retrograde since May 13th. So when Venus goes direct, communication and relationships should start clearing up now. All the stuff that was coming up for review during the retrograde period will start maybe having more clarity, getting more answers, resolving any issues that might have come up, removing the creative block. All of those things will start happening once Venus goes direct June 25th in Gemini. June 27th, Mars enters Aries. So when June 27th comes, Aries, this marks a period where you are going to begin to feel very driven, very motivated, very highly charged to go for your goals. It could also mean that your sex drive will be up. You could be feeling horny. You could be feeling on the conquest. You could be feeling all of those kinds of things, but definitely driven towards your goals starting at the end of the month. And Mars is going to be in Aries for a long period because it's going retrograde. And if you want to know later, it's not now, so I'm not talking about that in the June video, but it will be this year. And this is a very significant aspect for Aries wherever it's happening in your chart. So this is actually a really good time for Aries to get a transit reading and take a look at the rest of 2020. So definitely contact me for a transit reading. And June 30th, Jupiter is forming a conjunction with Pluto. This hit exact on April 4th already this year. So if you're interested in knowing specifically what it's going to be like for you, take a look at what you were doing around April 4th. What was going on in your life? I mean, yes, of course we're in quarantine, but that doesn't mean life isn't going on. That doesn't mean relationships aren't going on. This does not mean the evolution about our goals, our vision, our path is not happening. We are still developing as human beings. Life is still moving forward even though we're in quarantine. And Jupiter is about expansion and Pluto is about transformation. So collectively, this is a very transformative time for all of us, but individually, it's also a very transformative time for all of us. And the Jupiter-Pluto conjunction for Aries in general is happening in the house of career and attainment. It can be the house of the father, but this is, it's an opportunity to expand wealth and power. It's an opportunity to expand personal depth, personal power. It's a time where influential people can come into your life and affect your career and attainment. And collectively, it's also a time where there can be an expansion of death and destruction because, so there's the shadow side and the tough side of this aspect, just like with everything in life, just like with everything in astrology. So it's a very powerful time. There's 2 eclipses in June, Mercury goes retrograde, and there's this very powerful Pluto-Jupiter conjunction, which, the first time it happened, April 4th, collectively we were experiencing a surge with COVID, and we were being quarantined in order to stay home. That's what was happening on the collective during April 4th. So perhaps on June 30th, we can expect a repeat of that. But look to what was happening in your personal life around that time to know what kinds of transformations, what kinds of impact that Jupiter-Pluto conjunction is having on you, because that theme is carrying throughout the year. It picks up in intensity again June 30th. It picks up in intensity again November 12th. And so there's a lot of powerful stuff going on in the universe right now. There's really never been more of an exciting time for me to be a reader in terms of watching the planets and how it's unfolding on Earth. And I think it's really opening a lot more people up to astrology and the tarot and the unseen. And so that's really makes me happy. I love reading. I would love to read for you personally. I can read on FaceTime, I can read on the phone, or Zoom. It's very powerful to have that intimate one-on-one exchange with a reader. And please follow me on Instagram at astrology.tarot.Eliane Nicole. I've started doing these daily updates in my stories, and it's kind of the cosmic weather for the day and what's going on. And of course, in the feed, I always try to post any big planetary shifts that are happening that will be in place over a long period of time, as well as just other fun kind of like spiritual updates and things. So I would love for you to join my community there, and thank you so much for joining me, Aries. I hope that you have a wonderful June 2020.